Wargroove review. Enter the world of strategy. Someone from Chucklefish clearly waited for Nintendo to launch Advance Wars, as the turn-based Wargroove turn-based tactics are the most successful in a contemporary emergence with a fantastic theme. But this is not a game that is only concerned with its amazing pixel art nostalgia to win your love. Wargroove is a challenging and incredibly entertaining strategy game with wonderful options for multiple players besides having a level editor good enough to be a complete strategy game. Instead of having to control a group of heroes in a similar way to Fire Emblem games, Wargroove offers you a single commander and makes you invoke a number of disposable units in the middle of the battle. But you're still going to want to play craftily to keep your troops alive, but eliminating that fear of losing someone with a name and a face makes it much lighter and the tactical sense more agile. Each type of unit feels useful in one situation or another, and the utility will depend on the design of the map and the enemies in front of you. The 4 Wargroove factions turn out to be different in interesting ways. All have access to the same troops with the exception of the commanders. They have a tool called Groove. If a map is extended, it would normally invest in the faster units, including cavalry, to cover more terrain, but that will entail the risk that the enemy can knock down the pikemen that turn out to be a bit cheap. With several air units, you could try to knock down the shamans or the ballistans to knock them down. It is striking that each unit has a condition to face the critical hits that are fixed by the position, not by the lock with which it counts, making the movement more than just overtaking. The animations that have the battles of all these units are also quite interesting, which come directly from the Advance Wars, with small details depending on the environment and the fighters. But they've become old with time. Overwhelmingly, they have to keep the button pressed to spend about half of the animation. It ends up avoiding them in its entirety to end the frustration. They should put an option to accelerate them. The campaign of even more than 12 hours with Wargroove account is very entertaining, has some problems in the missions that are very long, and that sometimes can take an hour or more. It would not be a major problem if you could save in the middle of the mission, being able to leave and return where you were previously. Luckily, the Wargroove campaign mode has complexity options that suit much more gradually than the simple normal difficult arcade mode settings, which allow you to scale the damage received, the money earned, and the load capacity time of the game. Rhythm up or down, individually and a little at a time. If you have problems with a specific mission, you could increase your money a little, or if you have already passed the campaign, you could make things more difficult for an additional challenge. It ends up playing in the other half of Wargroove with minimum damage of less than 100.